Okay, I'm going to show you how you can use Google Drawings to create your Padlet problem and then post that into that Padlet as a picture. So the first thing that you need to do is when you go to Google Drive and open up a Google Drawing, you need to obviously title it. I'm going to title mine Padlet Angle Problem. And using your book with lesson 18, especially the instruction pages, use that to help when trying to put in the specific parts of the angle and using the vocab for it too. Okay, so if I go to the shapes button, I'm going to start out with kind of a different little guy. I'm going to start with a triangle, and then I can also click this line button here. I want to extend this out, try to make that straight. I want to do another line. Going here, like that. And actually, if I click a line I want to extend, I can just click one of the other points and extend that through. It'll just continue going. So there's different options when you create that. And then I want to extend this off of here. Now I'm doing this just to make something where I have almost like we said yesterday about it being like a puzzle. So someone who's going to solve my problem definitely needs to know a little bit of how to make an equation and solve it, but then also how angles are related, like complementary, supplementary, and vertical, which are all found in your book. Next thing I want to do is you can do this a lot of different ways. I'm actually going to use another shape for my points. Okay, you don't necessarily have to do this. I just want to be able to show you if you do. So here, so I can put that object in there, that circle, and it's something you can see. Now I want to do that with all of these, including all the vertices or the corners. Okay, so I can name the angles appropriately when I'm referring to them. So I could do this again, where I go to shapes and then continue to pick the same one or a different one if I wanted to. You can use a shortcut where you click the object you have. If you click Control C, it'll copy it. Control V will paste it. And I'm just going to drag that and make sure that I have all my segments identified. So when I put letters here shortly, refer to them by angle names and line segment names. I have all of those. And there's another vertex here in the corner of the triangle. But now all my corners have markings as well as my segments. And if I go to this here, which again, you don't have to do these points, you can, but you at least need to label everything. And this just makes it easier to identify later. So I'm just going to label them letters. So here's point A, and then I'll use a shortcut again, Control C, Control V. These are all going to say A when I copy paste them, but since it's a text box, if I click it, I can edit it. And our idea here is to make something easy to understand, easy to see. I'm not focusing too much on colors, obviously, not focusing on too much of what font looks like, because like most things, the simpler the better. I'll go E down here. I'll go F right there. And then my central vertex, I'll put here, that point, call that G. That way when we want to name things, okay, I can go ahead and call this angle right here, that would be AGB. This angle right here would be AFG. You understand the process there. Now it comes into putting in information that is needed to be figured out or known. So using kind of the idea they used in the book, I'm actually going to use 3 different things you have to find. Look in our text box. And for my problem, there's 3 things you need to find. You're going to need to find what X is equal to, what Y is equal to, and what Z is equal to. Now you don't have to do 3, you can just do 1 or 2, however you want to do it. This is just the problem that I created. But I definitely want you guys to be creative when making this. So then this text box is going to be probably the most important tool at this point. So here, angle G is going to be 2x plus 1 degrees. Now, I need to put my little degree symbol up there, and how to move my cursor up. If I push Control period, it'll move it up. I'm going to put in a 0, make it look like degrees, and then Control period brings it back down. So now I know that angle G here, that's 2x plus 1 degrees. So it's still unknown. We got to figure that out. Let's go right here. I just use my Control paste since my text box was the last thing. You could always go back up here too. This is going to be angle Z. So I'm going to go Z. We'll go Control period 0. So I know it's Z degrees. Make the box bigger so it shows. I might even bold this or even highlight it so we know that, hey, this is something that we need to figure out. Probably should do it to that one too. Highlight that. Okay. This one down here is going to be known. And that's the key. You got to make sure that they have enough information to solve everything. You can't make it so complex it's impossible. This is going to be 42 degrees. Okay. And then this one, this adjacent angle, CGD, that's going to be 38 degrees. Now, I'm not just making this up off the top of my head. I actually scribbled this out on paper, so I had it ready to go. So I would highly suggest you mess around with it, because sometimes the numbers don't add up the way you want them to, and you got to mess with them. And that's actually what I had to do. I had to finagle it a little bit. Another angle you're going to find is right here. That is going to be Y degrees. And then lastly, that is it. That's actually all I have. So I'm going to highlight these so I know whoever wants to do my problem knows where I have to find certain things. Okay. And then up here, I should probably put something, we need to find these, be a little more descriptive with the instructions. So I'll just pop that down and it's where you guys can kind of make it look pretty a little bit. Organize it nice and neat. Okay. Not a bad problem. Okay. Now I know this looks like a right triangle, but that it might help out some other people. And again, we want to give them information, kind of like a puzzle, but we want to not make it so hard. I'm going to put in my right angle box there so everybody knows for sure that that's a right angle. Now these lines, if you want to make them thicker, whenever you click on one of them, like right now I have my box clicked, if I click this 3 little border weight line thing, I can increase the thickness of the lines. Okay, and I can do that for all of them. I actually might just do that. I'll highlight everything, go to this line here, and I'll click 4. That's way too big. 3, well, 2. 2's not bad. Okay. Now the reason I have the boxes around those is because I actually click the text boxes. So if that happens, if you hold Control and start clicking, I'm actually clicking all the things I want to do at one time. So it looks like I'm getting everything in the middle, but it's actually just what I'm clicking. And if you were to look really close, there's a little blue haze that surrounds everything I've clicked. So that's on those boxes. I don't want those in there. So I can go to that one, or I can even say I have that. Okay. Gives you a little bit of an idea to identify it. So now, once I have my thing drawn, I'm going to go ahead, and it's obviously saved, but since we want to put it in that Padlet, you guys can screenshot it, which is the same buttons as pushing Control, and then up in your top row, there's that box with the 3 lines on it. You can do that. With me having a computer, it's a little different. So I'm actually going to hop over to another video to show how to embed or how to post a picture on the Padlet. So you may need to watch that other video.